On the HAR website and when working with students, we generally divide topics of Himalayan art into art history, iconography, and religious context. And with each of these, there are better quality and poorer quality works and examples of the different subjects and the different types of art, the different mediums. So when we're dealing with art history, then we generally call very good works, we call them masterworks or masterpieces. When dealing with religious context, we call them treasures of a tradition, treasures of a particular subject. And they don't have to be beautiful. There can be many reasons why something is a treasure of a particular tradition. And then when it comes to iconography, we use another term. We call it best examples. And again, things don't have to be, objects don't have to be beautiful. They don't have to be made of the finest quality metals or jewelry or paints. With iconography, things have to look good. It really is about appearance and it's about textual accuracy, but then it's also about, it's about beauty in many ways, because things have to look natural and they have to look good. You can have something that's considered a masterwork, but from iconography point of view, it's just not quite precise or good enough. So there's different ways of looking at things. Now, for the Buddhist deity Manjushri, we're looking at Manjushri now from a Vajrayana point of view, not a Mahayana point of view, but from a Vajrayana point of view, and we're looking at a specific form called Arapachana Manjushri. Arapachana actually has a number of different forms himself. He can be in a Dharma teaching gesture, he can be white in color, he can be yellow, he can be orange, and but the most common form we find him in is peaceful with one face, two arms, orange in color, with the right arm raised and holding a sword, a blue sword with a little bit of wisps of flame at the tip and the edges. And the left hand is either holding a book or it's holding the stem of an utpala flower, which is blossoming at the left shoulder, next to the ear. So this is, and he's seated in Vajrasana posture. He's seated in Vajra posture. Now, for being a best example, there's really three points. There's three key points to be a best example. And first, there has to be a natural sway to the body, because when you raise your left arm or your right arm, and in this case it's the right arm holding a sword upraised to the sky, when you're holding a sword upraised, the body naturally curves and it has a sway to it, and you lean to the right side. So it's very important that the sculpture or the painting have this natural sway. How the sword is held is also important. It can't be pointed too vertical. Some of the best examples are where the sword is almost horizontal. It can't be too short. It can't be too long. So there are several points just for the sword that are important for being a best example. Now, for the left arm, the very early versions of Arapachana Manjushri, he often holds the book in the hand and he holds the book to the heart. In later versions, he's holding an utpala flower. Utpala is a type of lotus. It's blue in color. It's also called the night lotus, the Nil utpala. Nil here, Nila is blue. So the stem that he's holding in his hand, now there's different explanations. He can be holding it with his thumb and forefinger, or he can hold it with his thumb and ring finger. Now, with good painting and good sculpture, then the stem actually extends downward under the elbow and then up the arm, and then with the blossom appearing above the shoulder. The reason it appears above the shoulder is because there's a book, and the book is a Prajnaparamita text, and the text is all words, and words make sounds, and it's next to the ear. So there's a relationship between the book being above the left shoulder, and then the ear, and hearing the words of the sutra, the Prajnaparamita. So how the book, how the Utpala, and how whether or not there's a stem and a flower, or whether or not the book's just being held, is an important factor as well. So these are the three key points to understanding what are the qualifications, the criteria for best example for the figure of Arapachana Manjushri. Now, if you like this series of videos, then please hit the like button. You can also subscribe. You can share with a friend. And you can also join us on Patreon to help support the work that we do at Himalayan Art Resources.